Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful week. I'm continuing finally with my Björk discography journey, and we've made it to her fourth studio album from 2001 called Vespertine. Now, a lot of you have been wanting me to listen to this album for the longest time. For months now, you guys have been saying Vespertine, Vespertine, Vespertine. Finally, yes, I'm listening to it, and I actually don't know what Vespertine means, so I had to look it up, and it is a term used in the life sciences to indicate something of, relating to, or occurring in the evening. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The term is used for a creature that becomes active at dusk, such as bats and owls and Enlightened Jesse. Just kidding, but am I? I will say though, I'm definitely more active in the evening than I am during the day. I love the stillness, I love the quiet of the evening and the unexpected, and I just feel like my creative juices flow a lot better in the evening, late in the evening, than it does during the day, like right now. And looking at the track list, there are 12 tracks. I don't recall hearing any of these songs before, but like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. The album is 56 minutes, so let's jump right into it with track number 1, Hidden Place. However, before we get into the tracks, I just want to point out the album artwork because there's an image of a swan in the album artwork. She's also wearing a swan on her body as an outfit around her neck, and this goes back to the year 2001 when this album was released. At the 73rd Academy Awards, she wore a swan dress, the iconic dress. And before I started listening to Björk, before I'd been exposed to her music, I always associate Björk with that iconic swan dress. So officially, now let's get into track number 1, Hidden Place. Alrighty, and that was track number 1, Hidden Place, and I actually really enjoyed this song. There was something about it that was, I don't know, I don't want to say haunting, but maybe I do, I don't know, but I really enjoyed the production on this song. It was definitely, I don't know, it almost feels like it's wrong to listen to this album during the day. I'm one track in, and like the title of the album suggests, Vespertine, it feels like this should be an album I should be listening to in the evening. The lyrics as well were giving me that impression. He's the beautifulest, fragilest, still strong, dark and divine, and the littleness of his movements hides himself. He invents a charm that makes him invisible, hides in the hair. Can I hide there too? Hide in the hair of him. Seek solace, sanctuary in that hidden place. So like most Björk songs, I'm having a bit of trouble deciphering what she is singing about. So if you guys could help me out and leave a comment, that would be wonderful. So now let's move on to track number 2, Cocoon. Already, and that was track number 2, Cocoon, and I like this song. I'm liking this album so far. First and foremost, I love, like I said for track number 1, I love the production. I just love listening to it. I just love closing my eyes and listening to the sounds of this album. This song, she seems to be, I don't know. Obviously, she is singing about this guy, her lover. He slides inside, half awake, half asleep. We fade back into sleephood. When I wake up the second time in his arms, gorgeousness. He's still inside me. So perhaps she is talking about sex with this gentleman. She seems to be very happy. I don't know if that's the intention, but she seems to be really enjoying herself. She seems to really be enjoying this guy because she is singing about another gentleman in track number 1, Hidden Place. I don't know if it's the same guy or not. In track number 1, Hidden Place, she is saying, your love was sent to me. I'm not sure what to do with it or where to put it. So this guy is perhaps falling in love with her. He's really interested in her. And she perhaps is a little surprised by that. She doesn't know what to make of that. The love was sent to her, but she's not sure what to do with it. And now she is sleeping with this person. She's falling asleep in their arms. And as to what the Cocoon is, the title of the track, it could mean different things, in my opinion, but perhaps it could mean the guy's arms around her, keeping her safe, keeping her warm. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't even know if I should bring it up, but a train of pearls shot precisely across an ocean from a mouth of a girl like me to a boy, and the things she's implied in this song, I don't know, my mind is kind of in the gutter right now. Once again, leave a comment, tell me your interpretation of this song. And then this line here is really interesting. Who would have known that a boy like him, after sharing my core, would stay going nowhere? So this guy had sex with her, and who would have thought after doing that, after sharing my core, that he would stay? Who would have thought this guy would stay after having sex with me? He's actually stayed, he's going nowhere. So I don't know, that's my interpretation of the song. It might be messed up, it might be totally wrong. That's what I love about Björk's lyrics, is that they're so cryptic at times. They could honestly mean anything, depending on who's listening to the song. So I interpreted the song one way, but you might interpret it another way, which might be the right way. I might have interpreted it the wrong way, but at the end of the day, it's music. Who cares? It's universal. Anyone's gonna have their own interpretation of a song. But anyway, let's move on to track number 3. It's Not Up to You. Okay, and that was track number 3. It's Not Up to You, and I thought this was a really beautiful song. It made me smile, it made me feel good, and I'm really liking this album. Is this my favorite Björk album yet? I don't know, but so far I'm really enjoying it. I just think this is a beautiful album to listen to. The sounds I'm hearing, I think I might have heard the harp in the song at one point. I wake up and the day feels broken. I tilt my head. I'm trying to get an angle because the evening I've always longed for, it could still happen. How do I master the perfect day? 6 glasses of water, 7 phone calls. If you leave it alone, it might just happen. If you wake up and the day feels broken, just lean into the crack and it will tremble ever so nicely. It knows how it sparkles down there. I mean, once again, this is another interesting song to read. I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna say, she could be singing about masturbation. I don't know. The reason why I think the song might be about masturbation is just some of the lyrics is kind of alluding to it. If you wake up and the day feels broken, just lean into the crack and it will tremble ever so nicely. It knows how it sparkles down there. I don't know, that's what I got out of the song. So perhaps you wake up in the morning, you're not satisfied, and you just pleasure yourself. This is one of those albums where I do kind of have to look up the meaning behind some of the lyrics. I can't wait for you guys to tell me in the comments. I'm just too eager, I need to know. And I don't usually do this. I usually wait till after I'm done recording the video to check up the meanings of songs. But sometimes I get too antsy and I have to look it up right away. And some people did mention that they think the song might be about masturbation, but it could also mean other things as well. Some people have said that the song is just about going with the flow. I mean, quite a few people have their own interpretations of the song, so as to what it actually means, I don't know. So now let's move on to track number 4, Undo.
You're trying too hard. You're trying too hard.
Undo if you're cried. Well, I almost started crying there. I don't know if you saw it, but my eyes start welling up and... What? This was, again, such a beautiful song. It was almost therapeutic. It was like I was at a spa. It was so tranquil, and that choir, and... I don't have much to say about this song other than it was just beautiful. It was beauty. It's not meant to be a struggle uphill. You're trying too hard. Surrender, give yourself in. You're trying too hard. It's not meant to be a strife. Undo. Undo if you're bleeding. Undo if you're sweating. Undo if you're crying. I'm in love with this album, honestly. This is 4 tracks in, and I think this is my favorite Bjork album. Out of the 3 albums I already listened to, her debut album, Post, and Homogenic. Ugh. Okay, let's move on to track number 5, Pagan Poetry. Already, and that was track number 5, Pagan Poetry. I have no idea. I find an accurate copy, a blueprint of the pleasure in me, a secret code carved. He offers a handshake, crooked 5 fingers. But the darkest pit in me is pagan poetry, swirling black lilies, totally ripe. Morse code signals. And then she keeps singing, I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him. She loves him this time. I'm gonna keep it to myself this time. So she loves him, she loves this guy, but she's also saying, I'm gonna keep me all to myself. And she also says, but he makes me want to hand myself over. So I don't know if he's seducing her and she's just head over heels for him. She is tempted by him. It's like being tempted by the devil. She loves him, but at the same time, she's gonna keep herself to herself. So if you guys know the true meaning of the song, or if you have a cool interpretation of the song, leave a comment. So now we will move on to track number 6, Frosti. Okay, that was track number 6, Frosti. Short and sweet and purely instrumental. There weren't any vocals. It was so pleasant. Once again, I felt like I was at a spa. pure therapy, and I just had to close my eyes and let the music take me over. It just swept me away. I've said this already, but this album is very beautiful. This track is no exception. And now I can understand why she's using a swan in the album artwork. When I think of a swan, I think of peace, I think of beauty, I think of tranquility and calmness. And I'm kind of getting that from this album. So I don't know if that was the intention. I mean, if you know why she used a swan as the imagery of this album and the album artwork, leave a comment and let me know. But screw it, I did it myself. I looked it up and it says, Björk thought swans embodied Vespertine's music, describing them as a white sort of winter bird and very romantic. And apparently it represents the Greek myth of Leda and the swan, emphasizing the erotic overtones of both. So now let's move on to track number 7, Aurora. I hear snow. Already, and that was track number 7, Aurora. Another beautiful song, Aurora. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I believe she is singing about the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. And I don't think I've ever seen the Aurora Borealis ever in my life. Of course, I've seen it in movies and pictures and such, but never with my own eyes. I also love the crunching of snow beneath your feet when you're walking through inches of snow. I live in Canada, so we always get snow during the winter months, and though I don't like the cold weather that snow brings, I like snow in general when it first falls on the ground and it's pure white and no one has touched it yet, and you take the first few steps and your boot just falls through the surface and there's that crunching sound as you walk. Ugh. What I also love about this album is she uses choirs in some of the tracks, and I love a good choir. I don't know what it is, but whenever I hear a choir sing, it just, more often than not, it just brings tears to my eyes. It just makes my eyes well up with tears. Like, it's so emotional. I am definitely getting snow and winter vibes after listening to track number 6 and 7. And it's very peaceful and beautiful, and I absolutely adore this album so far. So now let's move on to track number 8, An Echo, A Stayed. Already, and that was track number 8, An Echo, A Stain. And she touched my arm and smiled. One of these days, soon, very soon, love you till then. Feel my breath on your neck. Don't say that was... I'm sorry you saw that. I'm sorry he did it. An echo has stayed. Can't say no to you. Say nothing, free falling. Feel my breath on your neck and your heart will race. Don't say no to me. You can't say no to me. I won't see you denied. The song could mean many things and I have no idea. So please leave a comment and let me know. So now let's move on to track number 9, Sun in My Mouth.
I will wait. the sun in my mouth. I'll will I complete my flash? Will I
Okay, and that was track number 9, Sun in My Mouth. I have no idea what she's singing about. Till my thighs are steeped in burning flowers, I will take the sun in my mouth and leap into the ripe air, alive with closed eyes to dash against darkness. I mean, does a song need a meaning at this point? Does a Björk song need a meaning? I always keep analyzing songs, and I always try to figure out what a song needs, but at the end of the day, not every song needs a meaning. Maybe it just needs to be poetry. It just needs to be words. It doesn't need to mean anything, honestly. In the sleeping curves of my body, I shall enter fingers of smooth mastery. I guess I should have picked that up. With chasteness of sea girls, will I complete the mystery of my flesh? I feel like this song, again, might be about masturbation, perhaps. In the sleeping curves of my body, I shall enter fingers of smooth mastery. With chasteness, what is that word? With chasteness of sea girls. I've never heard that word before. Will I complete the mystery? People are saying that this song is about her masturbating. There are also lines written by E.E. Cummings, apparently. This album is just so dreamy, and I don't know. It's very different from any other album I've listened to, and it's just very peaceful. So now let's move on to track number 10, Heirloom.
one glowing oil into my wide open throat and make me feel better.
Okay, and that was track number 10, Heirloom, and this was, again, a very interesting song. She said, I have a recurrent dream. Every time I lose my voice, I swallow little glowing lights. My mother and son baked for me during the night. They do a trapeze walk until they're in the sky right above my bed while I'm asleep. My mother and son pour into me warm, glowing oil into my wide open throat. I have no idea. I will say, though, it's interesting she follows up track Sun in My Mouth with Heirloom, because when I read the title of Sun in My Mouth, when I read the title of that track, Sun in My Mouth, I literally think of someone with the sun in their mouth, a great burst of light in their mouth. And in this song, she's talking about, I swallow little glowing lights, warm glowing oil into my wide open throat. So I don't know if there's a connection there. Some people imply track number 9 was about masturbation. I have no idea. So it's just an interesting connection there between the glow in her mouth. And I don't know what that represents. Okay, so now let's move on to track number 11, Harm of Will.
Is a troubadour washing? It is easy. This way is
Okay, and that was track number 11, Harm of Will, and another great song. It was beautiful to listen to, but it was also a little somber in my opinion. The choir once again got me emotional, and I have no idea what the song is about like usual. And he placed her unclothed, long-legged on top of the family tree, and if he has chosen the point while she is under him, then leave her coyly placed, crouched, sucking him. For it is I, with her on knee, I leave her without pith or feel. I mean, there is the sexual lyrics of her saying, then leave her coyly placed, crouched, sucking him, for it is I with her on knee. I will say there is a lot of sexuality on this album. That's another theme I picked up. And I do want to go back to track number 10, Heirloom, for a second, because as I was listening to Harm of Will, I was thinking of Heirloom and of this glow that her mom and son were giving to her as she was sleeping with her mouth wide open. I was thinking the Heirloom could have been positivity and light that her mom had or her son has, and they were kind of passing it on to her. An heirloom is something that is passed down from generation to generation, from one family to the next. So from a grandparent to your parent, then to you, and then you pass it on to your child, and then your child passes it on to their child. It could be an actual object, an actual thing you hold, or it could be a value, a saying, or some sort of word or meaning that someone says, a value that you come to cherish. This album is definitely putting my mind to work. Oh. Anyway, we have made it to the end of the album, track number 12, Unison.
I will have grown my own private branch of this tree. Tonight we shall fight and praise.
Okay, and that was the final track of the album, track number 12, Unison. And this one I feel like is pretty straightforward. I never thought I would compromise. Let's unite tonight. We should fight. Embrace you tight. Let's unite tonight. That's another theme I picked up as I was listening to the album track by track, is a sense of solidarity and not wanting to argue and fight, just wanting to just come together and be as one. I always thought that Björk was an independent, quiet, reserved person, just from reading her lyrics and listening to her songs. She says here, I will always be stubborn, born stubborn. I will have grown my own private branch of this tree. She says, I thrive best hermit style, with a beard and a pipe and a parrot on each side. But now I can't do this without you. So she never thought she could do it without this person. She never thought she would compromise. But now she realizes she needs this person. And she's saying, let's unite. Let's not fight. Let's embrace each other. And let's become one. And let's unite tonight. I was not expecting what I just listened to on this album. I wasn't expecting it. It's a Björk album, so I kind of knew what I was expecting and what I was getting myself into after listening to her first 3 albums, but this was a whole other experience, and it kind of left me shook. This was such a beautiful album. It was so peaceful. It was so, like I said many times already, it's very therapeutic. Felt like I was at a spa. It was very tranquil. And the lyrics were really interesting, just like any Björk album. I feel like there's a lot of sexuality and I don't know, just a lot of beauty on this album. To me, this album was emotional to listen to at times. I feel like there's also something spiritual about this album. Kind of left me in awe, to be honest with you. I am also reading some of the reviews of this album, which received universal acclaim, no surprise there. One person said that she applauded the album for its positive introversion, feeling some of the tracks have the strength to bring tears of joy and pain to the eyes, which it did in my case. And of course, there are people who didn't have nice things to say about this album, but this album also had erotic elements, which I did pick up on in multiple instances. I did pick up on, obviously, the sex, like in track number 2, Cocoon, and I felt like some of the songs were about masturbation as well. My eyes were welling up, and I could feel the tears coming, and I didn't think I would love this album as much as I did, but you guys were hyping it up, so I should have known better. I should have known that this would be a great album, and it's officially my favorite Björk album so far. Out of the 4 albums I've listened to so far, her debut, Post, and Homogenic, this one is my favorite, hands down. As to which of the songs are my favorites, I have no idea. I have to go back, but I liked every single song on this album. There wasn't a single song I disliked. So what did you guys think of the album? What are your favorite tracks? Where does this album rank on your Björk ranking list? And how does it hold up 19 years later in 2020? So I think that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna stop. I have to end this video. It's been a long video. It was a lot to read. It was a lot to listen to, and I'm a little exhausted. So thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can message me. You can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music. You can check out my playlist and so forth. And in my next Björk video, we'll be moving on to her 5th studio album called Medulla. Now, this album came out in 2004, so 3 years after Vespertine. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Take care.